Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I am your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Purr. And baby, it was a lot of tea spilled in this episode and this reunion today. So I can't wait. I wasn't the only one spilling tea this time. So I'm glad I am not alone. But you know, if you do need to spill some tea, you can do it in your cup mug. Yeah. And you can get your cup mug at lanajuscreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And if you look to the right of the screen, there is a QR code. It'll take you right to the shop. You can go there, get your merch, leave me a cute little message letting me know you were there and you like the shop and buy, just but really buy the merch. That'll be the best thing. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Brazil, don't talk to me. I don't even know. I don't know what's happening with Brazil. I'm sorry. I love y'all, but y'all don't like my cups.
We're
So
figuring things out. We're figuring
we're
it out.
trying. I don't know what to tell you. But everywhere else in the world, get your merch.
Currently.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, hi everybody. I'm Brook, and I'm passionate about pop culture. And quite frankly, I'm meh.
It's always one. It is always one. It is always one. I don't know what to tell you here.
It's not. This finale was just kind of meh. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Howdy, y'all. It's Mike. I'm your beefy bodybuilding correspondent down in Dallas, Texas. I put the him and himbo, and I just got to say, I am the opposite of Brooke. I thought this was a fire finale for me. I thought this was such a fun season. I'm in my Rob Roush cosplay here, so I'm repping the Southern boys here today. And I will say, I know we're gonna get to the draft, but Lana, you are right. I will give you your flowers. We were all Rob Roush deniers, but I think he stuck the landing tonight. And we got some piping hot tea in the process as well.
Absolutely.
So we'll talk all about it. I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah. And do I have to introduce this gorgeous, amazing, talented? Yeah, I do. And I'm so happy that I get to do it because our worlds have collided here on the cup. We usually keep all of our queens in one place, but we were like, no, we're snatching this one over and bringing her over to the TV channel because once she mentioned Traitors, we were like, really? Period. Say less. And so we made it happen, and the beautiful and talented KaraMilk is here from Canada Drag Race Season 6. What an amazing season anyway, and she's here. So, KaraMilk, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's giving best of both worlds. Hannah Montana.
Period. I love it. And you look gorgeous, by the way. Just stunning.
My thoughts on the finale, I'm in the middle between both Mike and Brooke. I feel it could have been sent in an email, but it was really good. Very entertaining.
Fair.
I mean, was it predictable? Yes. Did I go through and was like, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this. And yes, I was right about all of it. It was very predictable. But it still had its moments of, but could it be different?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was moments of it could okay. No, it's gonna stay the same. Oh, wait, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, it stayed the same.
I liked how there was a path to a faithful victory tonight.
It was.
And it all hinged on what does Mara feel like doing. And I think she's so iconic. It just made the whole finale so entertaining for me. It was, I mean, we kind of knew as soon as like Lisa left, I kind of had a feeling I'm like, Rob has this like locked down because Candace was sadly so far behind on the numbers game. So I kind of felt like this was a foregone conclusion. But I thought there was a lot of intrigue there. I thought, at least in how they edited it, there was an option where the faithful could have taken it tonight, but not how it happened. And I'm kind of happy because I feel like the best player on the cast won the season, personally.
Gag. Best player.
I mean,
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I'm gonna say yes. The person who did the most and did the work won the game, and
Yeah.
I was very happy about that.
I want to be clear. I'm not mad that Rob won. Rob winning was the correct outcome from what we have seen all season. It's just like Carson, this could have been sent in an email. This entire finale could have been an email. Everything that we thought that was gonna happen happened. There wasn't really anything shocking or surprising, and the things that they tried to show as shocking and surprising, I think, were just like what we expected to happen. So
But
I'm not mad. It was just fine.
But if they would have sent this in an email, we wouldn't have gotten to see Mora's fabulous finale looking her fabulous hat that she came out in.
She looked
like
lovely.
Mother cleared, and I was like, period. I wanted to see all of that. So I don't want and then even Eric coming in there with this bedazzled beaded pearl jacket with I don't know whose face was on the back of it, but I was like, I want that jacket. I was like,
yeah. I think it's just like the idea of like the audience, like we knew that Rob was a traitor, and like we were putting ourselves in Mora's shoes. Like, you need to make the right decision. So I think there's a lot of anger there, but also it's like we weren't there. I don't know if we were there if we would have taken all those hints, because Rob is like, I big Love Island fan. Like, Rob is dreamy, so sexy, obsessed. And like, I know if he talked to me, I would instantly like
folded. I would have folded. I would have been like,
I mean, Candace said it. Everybody was wanting to drink Rob's bathwater.
And honestly, look, he has pretty privilege, and he knows it, and he used it to if you have it, and that's a strategy, use what you got. And he didn't come in there and say, oh, I'm hot, I'm just going to make people fall in love with me. They just was doing it, and they were just trusting him with everything. And then another thing, they just took that whole down Southern Alabama boy, country boy, and he's just so nice. And they just did not question anything. And that's not on him. That is on them. I think Steven said at the best of the finale, the faithful should not have won anything. They did not deserve to win anything. And that's just what it is.
And I will add on to it. I'm personally kind of glad Eric did not win.
Me too.
Because I would be like, this would be like, I love Dolores, but this would be like Dolores when she won last season, because I'm like, you are lucky you are there with faithfuls who are actually really good at the game. So
I also don't think Eric earned his way. Like, I think Rob played from the start, and I understand like Rob deserved the win singularly. I would have been, I think, more angry if Eric and Rob won.
Yeah. I would have been a little annoyed if Eric would have won. I'm not gonna be honest. Like, Rob, you didn't need to take him. Like, he did nothing. He added nothing to the turn, and he didn't take away anything from it. So I would have been angry.
I mean, real talk, Eric winning would not have really changed how I feel about this season, because like Eric winning is just kind of like Mike just said, it's like Dolores winning. Like, okay, you will forever be listed as a winner of the Traitors. Congratulations. But we all know who did the work, and we all know why these people won. We know why Ivor won. We know why Dolores won. It's because of Gabby and Dylan. That is why they are there. So, like, if Eric won, I would look at them similarly. But to me, it doesn't take away from the fact that Gabby and Dylan ate up the end game of last season. And it wouldn't take away from how Rob ate up this entire season. So, and it's been well documented on this channel. I like Eric a lot in terms of like his personality. I think he's really fun. But he didn't deserve to win this game.
No. I think him winning would have been like, well, and it would have just added on to some fuel that I just don't think it was necessarily added on to, because like, if Rob would have taken Eric to the end, everybody who has already been on that hate Rob train, because they're like, Rob doesn't see Lisa and Candace as equals, and he saw Eric as an equal, and I wonder why he did that. And I'm like, I don't think that was the case, because we need to look at the facts and how the game played out. Lisa was already toast. Like, it was a matter of time before she was gone, and Rob knew he needed to detach himself from a sinking ship. Candace didn't realize that the sinking ship was sinking, and decided to stay on the ship, and got mad when the person got off the ship. then Candace turned around and threw herself under the ship. Like, Rob didn't do that. They did that. Rob just knew when to let it go and when to push for it. Now, do I think Rob played a perfect game? Absolutely not. Because he did not have to lead the charge against Lisa. He could have let Colton lead
100%.
that charge and then just voted for her and just didn't say anything. And I think that would have made it a little less jarring for Candace. And he could have actually maybe talked himself back into her good graces if he didn't lead the charge. It was the leading of the charge that took Candace out of trusting or ever wanting to trust Rob again.
Yeah.
And he didn't need to do that. It really wasn't necessary because I think everybody was on, like, it's Lisa, especially after the whole Jam and the banquet thing. People were already on Lisa. So Rob didn't really necessarily need to lead that charge. But I was like, oh, that's a mistake. Then when he was going off on Mark at the carnival, I was like, Rob, you are losing it. I understand the heart of being a traitor is hard, but you're starting to let your mask slip a little bit. He was moody that morning. He was moody at the challenge and snapping on people for no reason. Me personally, I would have been like, something is off with that one. That might be a traitor. Just watching the game, but like you said before, we're not in the game, so we don't really know what they are feeling. But he didn't do a perfect game. That's why when everybody doing all these think pieces today, who's the better traitor, Sari or Rob? The question is Sari. The answer is Sari. The question is always gonna be Sari. Sari was a better traitor. She was she didn't have many mistakes in her game. Any mistakes in her game.
Literally, someone convinced me, and again, it's been a minute since I've watched season 1 of The Traitors.
There's none.
Tell me what she did unsuccessfully.
She did not. She did everything successfully. She had everybody fooled from beginning to end successfully.
They were contriving like drama that season to make it look like, oh, Sari might be in trouble. I think like Stephanie revealed one conversation that or Rachel, or I forget who, revealed a conversation that she didn't want. And then she was like, oh my gosh, like there's so much heat on me. I'm like, this is so contrived. Like Sari played a near perfect game. So Rob, I think, is the second best traitor winner of the US, in my opinion. But Sari is number 1. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Yeah. But let's talk about this episode. Let's get into it. Oh, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. All right, y'all know the theory. We get back in we started off right where we left off, around the coffin, and we see Alan do the we know it's Mark or Maura, because and let me bring up the thing, because I have to do it. I made it. We need to do it. Need to have it up. So I knew, I was like, because me and Brook, we talked about this at the last recap. Yeah. I was like, because at first I was like, maybe they should do more, but then I thought about it. I was like, nah.
There's no reason to. Yeah.
There's no reason to do more at that point in time, because Mark could be persuaded, and I didn't think Maura could. And I guess they all felt the same way, because they killed Mark. Just murdered him right then and there.
I think you should always go with like who is closer to you personally, like socially, because people will always, logic be damned, they will go with their heart every time.
Yeah, it's also like logically, like Maura's closer to them, and Johnny and Tara are the ones that their suspicions around. Where Mark, everyone knows, is a faithful, and I feel like he could have easily been persuaded to Johnny and Tara's side. So it was logically the smartest move for sure.
It was definitely, because I do think if Mark was there, he would have listened to what, because he'd been thinking Eric anyway.
Yeah,
and he thought Eric because of Kristen. So.
And he was thinking his own chances right after the banishment, because how Tara reacted to Natalie's banishment. He was like, that is a faithful. That is somebody, like, she's feeling what I'm feeling right now. And that means like, oh my gosh, we totally screwed up. Like the Traitors are going to win this. So I think he was swayable to the Johnny Tara side. Meanwhile, like, and then he confided in the one wrong person in the entire castle to confide in. And I think that sealed his death warrant. As soon as I saw that, I was like, ooh, do not be telling Rob this because you were signing your death warrant.
I mean,
Yeah.
he go ahead.
As a Dancing with the Stars girly,
Same.
I'm heartbroken. I'm destroyed. However, he did make it further than Max, significantly further than Max.
He
So,
did.
you know what? We'll take it. He outlasted every single gamer in that castle, and you know what? You get your 10s from me for that, Mark. You get like a 7 for your gameplay, but you get your 10s for your longevity. The overall score for the performance would be like a 25. But you know, probably make it about halfway through the mirror ball competition. You know, just me. But you know, like it just made the most sense. I can't argue with the logic. I do think it could have been a really fun idea for them to murder Johnny or Tara, and let Mark linger, and have Rob let Eric be taken out that way instead of having to do it later himself. But in all honesty, this was just safer, so I can't argue with it. I think it made by far the most sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I first of all, let me shout out Mark. I love that Mark was here, and I was so glad. And Mark makes the best TikToks for traders. So if like I enjoyed this whole season of TikToks with Mark. So, and I'm glad that he stayed this long because honestly, a lot of people were like, Mark isn't saying anything. He's not talking. He's not really giving anything to the game. Blah blah blah. I think Mark played a really good game. He was quiet when he needed to be, but he did speak up to people who he, like you said, who he trusted, who he, were in that circle, and he let his suspicions and who he thought were out there, just not to everybody. And so, I don't know. I liked it. I thought that Mark played a really good game. I was happy that he made it this far, and so I was happy for him. But he had to go. And in all honesty, this was just his time to go. And after is gone, he's gone now, and very dramatic. Alan, like really the slamming of the coffin and the fire. Like, did we need that? Sure, I guess. I guess we did. Dramatics, but Mark's gone. Everybody's now trying to figure out. More thought for sure it was her. She was like, I just knew it was me. I just knew it was me, and I don't know what to do. Oh, why am I still here? And every time she asked that question, I was like,
"Girl, get it together."
Right?
Why do you think you're still here?
Every time she asked it, I got scared. Like I got a knot in my stomach every time she said it. I was like, because she might catch on.
Yeah.
She might catch on every time she keeps asking, why am I still here? Why am I still here? And I'm like, girl, because Rob is keeping you. Oh my God, please don't figure this out. Please don't figure. Because I've been Team Traitors since the beginning. Like the show is called Traitors. I don't want Faithfuls to win a show called The Traitors. I'm sorry. The show is called The Faithfuls, and I root for the Faithfuls, but I'm rooting for the Traitors if they're good Traitors. Now, last season, well, the season before, okay. Anyway, we move. So Mora's trying to figure out why she's here. Tara and Johnny, they know who it is. They're like, we know exactly who it is. It's Rob and it's Eric. We know it's them. We just have to figure out how to get them out because it's the two of us. Is Mora and Rob, and then there's Eric. Do we take out Eric and then just let the two duos go against each other? I was like, that's a nice plan. But it's tricky when you have when they know that two people are the traitors, who they think are the traitors. They go try to defend each other and help each other. And Mora is so in Rob's pocket. I was like, they have a hard road to try to get her to convince her to come over. But Tara, I'm gonna give her 7s. I'm not gonna give her 10s, but I'm gonna give her 7s because she put in the work on Mora. She thought she had her. Like she was putting in work on work with Mora from the moment they got up for breakfast and all that day. She was just like, Eric, it gotta be Eric. You got to see this. And Mora was like, I do think it's Eric. I do think it's possibly Eric. He's been so quiet. He's not saying anything. It has to be Eric. But And she was on that. She was right there with them, but then she was getting over there with Rob and Eric, and Rob is like, "We're going for Johnny and Tara, Johnny first, Tara second. That's the plan." And I thought that was a mistake for Rob. I thought that was going to be something that turned Maura off. I was nervous. I was like, Rob, you can't be so confident in like this is the plan and that's it. We sticking to it. Don't say nothing about it. And he was just like, this is the plan. We're doing Johnny first, Tara next. That's it. And she kind of looked like, what to me? Because I don't think it's Tara. She did not think it was Tara.
Yeah, I think Tara in her reaction to Natalie's banishment, I think kind of cleared for the rest of the faithfuls that she was a trusted faithful, in my opinion. I think there was so much suspicion for so many weeks, and her reaction to that, like she like kind of broke down. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm the reason Natalie's gone here. And I just think her being so upset and genuine in her reaction, I think kind of convinced a lot of people, especially Maura. But like at the end, like I think Maura just didn't want to believe. I think she believed Eric was a traitor, but I didn't think she didn't want to believe that Rob could possibly be a traitor. And I don't know. I think it's really weird. I would like to poke Maura's brain about what was she thinking that day. I'm sure it's a whirlwind because there's so much going on, and you're going through 3 votes and having to think through 3 votes. But in her brain, she would have to think what Johnny and Eric were traitors. Like their actions don't make sense if they're both traitors. I just don't understand her thought process and what she eventually did. They were trying to sell us that maybe she might go with Tara, but she just eventually didn't. And so like, I mean, we'll get to it, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like unfortunately, like she just wanted to vote with Rob. And I think from being a Love Island stan, like I get it. I feel like she just felt that bond with him and was like, well, I want it to be me and Rob in the end. So whatever way Rob's going to vote, I'm going to vote. And I think that was just comfort for her because she didn't see him as a traitor, which is unfortunate. But yeah.
I mean, but I think that's the same vein as like the housewives. All the housewives come in and they stick together, and nobody's like, of course, everyone's like, of course, it's how the housewives stick together. Of course, that's what they do. The housewives come in and stick together. Then the gamers come in, and it's like, oh, the gamers are going to stick together. It's you know, if you play Big Brother, the Big Brother players are going to stick together. The Survivor players are going to stick together, and nobody says that's the wrong thing, and nobody says that's the right thing. But now when it's Love Island people and Laura and Rob, Maura's like, I want to stick with Rob because we're Love Island. Everybody's like, because we knew Rob was a traitor. Everybody's like, oh, that's so dumb. You can't. No, she felt comfort in that. She felt like this is the people who's going to have my back. This is we from the same franchise. We you know, we've both been through that experience, so we know what that is like, and so we're going to stick together. And I don't think that's the worst thing you could do when you come on a game like this. But it just so happened that the person you wanted to put all your eggs in their basket happened to be a traitor. I don't think that's dumb. And that's why I'm like, Maura's not dumb. And people need to like get off her case a little bit. She's not dumb. She just was blindly loyal, which we've all been in situations where we've been loyal to people and be like, maybe I shouldn't have been as loyal to that person as I am, as I was, but she just happened to be that, and it just happened to be on TV.
I see where you're coming from for sure, Lana, because I do agree. Like it's always like the Housewives Alliance, the Big Brother people always, that is like the vibe. But I will say there does come a point, and it has happened in every season really, where somebody gets turned on by somebody in their group, right? You need to be loyal to that group of people to a point, right? And I think her trusting Rob makes sense. And I'm not going to say she should have been omnipotent and just known that Rob was a traitor. I can't expect that out of anybody, right? But I do get the idea of like, yeah, maybe she should have at least been willing to consider the possibility and explore that a little bit further. And we do see that a little bit. We see her, especially when she's talking to Tara right before the end game, right? I did have a little thought that maybe Tara got through to her a smidge because we see how she's talking to Tara, and Maura always has this like look when she's talking to people of like, like when somebody brings her an idea she hadn't thought of before, she kind of has this like face. And and that she had that on display during her conversation with Tara. So there was that thought of like, maybe she will maybe think about this a little bit more than she has been.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, I can't fault her, and she did kind of get something out of it. So,
She did.
you know,
I will say
a Birkin.
the dynamic between her and Rob Roush, like we see it every season, but I think this is the most pronounced we've ever seen it on the US version. If you watch the international seasons, this happens a lot where there's like one traitor and they bring their one survivor buddy who trusts them to the end, and that's how they win the game. And I think going forward, I think going forward that I think faithfuls are going to be a lot more wary about like, I am so clearly a faithful. Everybody thinks I'm a faithful. Why am I not murdered? And so you should start looking at your closest allies, because to win as a traitor, you need the patsy, you need the faithful who's going to be the patsy that takes the fall at the end.
Mhm.
You need that one person that trusts you, and so start looking at who's your closest ally. And we see winning faithful games, like Dylan turning on Danielle last season was kind of the winning game move for him, because he was like, I'm so close to Danielle, why am I still here? Everybody thinks I'm a faithful. Oh, Danielle's a traitor. I need to flip on her now. And he won the game. So
Exactly. It's just every season is something different. Like you said, we've seen different gameplays on different seasons. Like sometimes the traders take their closest and the person realizes it and turns on the trader at the end or towards the end. Then you see some people who don't, as in i.e. Mora, and the trader ends up winning. Or it's just
Yeah.
this is why I think Traitors is such a successful game, because every season could be any outcome, and it just depends on the people playing the game and how well they do. Like, it's not easy to be a traitor, but if you can do it well, it can get you to that win. And it's like it's an amazing feat to do it, but it's even also amazing if you do it as a faithful and you get to sniff out all these traitors and you're like, yep, I know you're a traitor. Yep, I know you're a traitor. Like just recently with Canada's traitors, watching Dom and Hollywood Jade just like sniff out the traitors, and then the traitors just falling off on in the end game, the traitor makes the mistake. And it's like, oh, well, how could you make such a silly mistake at the last, trust the fire of trust, only to lose the game when you had it in the palm of your hand. So it's just that's why this game is just so good, because it could go any kind of way for any people depending on the group of people that are playing that game. But after all of that, we do have a challenge. There is a challenge to go to, because they got to make the last of their money and get the pot up to 200 and whatever $1,000 that they would go get it up to, which is a lot of money for a Traitors game. I'm just like, okay, I see y'all. So they go to the challenge, and Alan tells them 2 people have to go and get on this helicopter. And of course, Mora's like, me, put me in the helicopter right now. I'm going. Let's go. So they're like, okay, Mora can go, and Rob is going to go. Mora and Rob go off to the helicopter. And then Johnny, Tara, and Eric have to go to this boat. They have to go off to the pontoons, answer questions, whatever. If Robin, Mora answered the right question, they put the money on the thing on the money, drop it down, they get it, they bank the money, sure. And they can win up to $20,000 in this challenge if they answer all the questions correctly, which they do. And they get $20,000. Good on them. Like, this challenge was not that hard.
Yeah.
These questions were very easy and dumbed down. I was like,
that part could have been sent in an email. Like, I was like,
yes, absolutely 100% that part could have been. And even they tried to make you get anticipating, like, oh, but it's a twist. We have 5 minutes left and we can get this money and double it to $40,000 if Rob could jump from a helicopter, grab this thing and swim back all in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then they pause and make it seem like he like drowned or something, and it's
Right.
like gone. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
like let's
You're
just
absolutely airing this man dying on TV. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
decision. This is actually something that I've been wanting to talk about all season, and I wanted to wait and see to the end of the season before I mentioned it. This is actually currently my biggest problem with the Traitors is that the missions are kind of irrelevant. Being able to get shields in the missions is great. I don't have a problem with that. And that's the only thing that's keeping them like kind of interesting. I don't care how much money these people are competing for. They could be competing for no money, and this game is just as interesting to me. I'm just going to say that for myself. Watching people play this game for $0, honestly, might be more interesting to me. I'll just be real.
Nobody would do that.
I'm saying, well, tune in this Sunday where a decent number of people are playing this game for $0.
I mean, ain't nobody going on TV and jumping out no helicopter for $0, Brook. I can sit in this chair. I can sit in this chair in my home and play a silly game on the computer for $0. But I ain't going to Scotland, jumping out helicopters and running up mountains for $0. Absolutely not.
People pay to go to Scotland and run up mountains and do it.
I wouldn't be entertained by that. I would not be entertained by that. I don't know about. I would not be entertained by that.
I'm saying specifically for me, in terms of the missions are just here to be, and they always have been. They fill up time. They almost never have anything important to the game about them, minus who gets a shield. And they didn't even do that in the first season. So, like, it's okay. It's chill, but, like, it does feel like 20 minutes of the show always is just a little bit there in the edit for me, like 89% of the time.
I think though that's the US franchise because also, it's all celebrities and like really like there's not much at stake there because they're not really playing for the money. They're being paid to be there. The reality TV stars, you know what I mean? It's like it's not like the Canadian version where there's more people who actually need the money. Like they want it, like they're fighting for it. So I think that's also another thing. Like the stakes aren't really there. It's more so just fun and games. But yeah, the challenges I feel like we could skip over.
I do go ahead, Mike.
I think you can actually have just a set prize pool at the end and then have the challenges be like Survivor, like chopping order, like be these sort of like social strategy, like intent to like break up the group and everything and cause dissension and division and kind of create drama, kind of like what Big Brother UK does, which is whenever they do challenges, there are these activities that are meant to kind of stir the pot of the group. I think that's more fun to do because I think it ties directly into, you know, oh, are they just playing with my brain because they're a traitor? I always hated, like, for the US, when they're in challenges, they're like, that's such traitor behavior. I'm like, no, this is where you can, like, turn off the game for a little bit because you're all here to get money. It does not matter. The shields kind of add a little bit of strategy into it, but not that much. You're there to get money. And if I'm in a traitor, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be gunning for the money, like, every time. I don't care, like, if they're, unless my back's up against the wall, obviously. But, like, I'm not going to try and sabotage the group to not get money because I think that's the best thing you can always do. So I agree. I think they can spice up the challenges because I get on my phone and I'm like, okay, is anything happening? Okay. It's my Survivor routine whenever the challenge comes up.
I mean, we'll see what because like they are going to a non-celebrity version next season. So hopefully maybe it'll be feel a little different since everybody's coming in this game. Mostly what we think is going to come wanting the money. Like nobody's coming in there like, I'm a housewife who makes $200 million and I don't need this. I'm gonna fly on my private jet when I leave here. Like nobody's doing that. So, or that we know of, who knows who they put in this castle. But I think it's just more interesting when people, like you said, have a reason to fight for this money, a purpose. Like they really need this money. This is going to be life-changing money for somebody. Yeah. So hopefully it'll, but I do understand what you say about the challenges. It's not the best. And like these questions I said were so simple, so easy. They got to $20,000. Then Rob, of course, Rob is going to swim back in 5 minutes and make the dive to put the key in, and poof, there we go. We got $40,000 at the end of this. And I was like, fine, cool, great. They got the money. Good.
I will say, Rob having so much time with Mara in the van ride and the helicopter and the van ride back, like I think that was where I was like, Rob wins the game. It's just a question of like, does he win with Eric or not? Like, I don't know at that point, but I was like, he has so much FaceTime with the swing vote tonight. Like it's over. You need to be the last word in her ear to solidify it.
I think one important piece of knowledge, though, is like when they were traveling back in the van, when Tara and Johnny asked Eric about Mora. And I think that was like the seed they planted to bring up at the round table of him saying that he thinks that Mora is a traitor, which I thought might work.
Because I think they realized, because we saw in the season, Mora is very emotional. And when Mora heard her name from somebody, she was like, you said my name. Well, I'm writing your name down. So they were hoping that little piece of information would be the key to be like, he said you. And more be like, oh, he said me? Bet Eric got you. And that would have kept them all together. Unfortunately, what they did not think about was what you said, Mike. Rob having so much time with Mora the entire day. Like they went to the helicopter together. So traveling to the helicopter, they're in the helicopter, coming back from the helicopter. Like they had so much time. And Rob was like, it's me and you. It's me and you. We got to take them out. He was planting all the seeds and making sure that she was reassured that it's going to be the two of them in the end. And why wouldn't she trust that? Why wouldn't she trust it? She's been trusting it the entire time. So it was like, why wouldn't she trust that? But getting to this round table, here, I'm just going to say this. Everything that Rob did at this round table was perfection. He sat back and he watched. I know you're about to say, I don't agree with that, but I'm about to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why he did. He sat back at this round table and he let Tara and Johnny go in on Eric for him. He didn't have to say nothing because he wasn't going to go in on Eric right now. Mora was listening, trying to get, figure out what she had to do and what she was going to do. And he said nothing until he watched Alan get up and start walking around. And he gave his one last pitch. Rob was the last person to say something at that round table. And what he said about how Johnny and Tara have been playing this game, they were colding each other out and they didn't talk to each other at the beginning of the game, only to come together at the last minute and be buddy and we together all this time. And he said, and how do we know that not one of them could be the traitor? We don't know. Just because they're besties now and they're all good and we supposed to think that they couldn't be traitors because they came out as besties, one of them could be lying to the other and we just don't know it. And that's the last thing Mora heard, was that one of them could be a traitor and could be lying. Now, she thinks Tara's faithful, but she never trusts Johnny. She had never trusted Johnny this entire time. I think Rob making that statement at the very last second, knowing he was going to be the last voice at that table, was one of the smartest things he could have did. And
I think it almost killed his entire game. Honestly,
I don't think so at all.
I think that was maybe the worst move I've seen Rob make the entire season. I'll just be blunt. Because to me, right, if this entire roundtable has been Tara and Johnny, essentially, to me, proving that Eric is a traitor, right? And that's where Mora is at by the end of this roundtable, right? Mora is 100% sure that Eric is a traitor by the time this roundtable ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Mora was paying attention, right, and she was thinking about it with a little bit less in the moment feeling and was more dialed in logically here, why is a person that I am 1000% is a traitor? One, why am I not voting for them? And two, on top of that, why is Rob defending him? Because that's what this is. This is not Rob moving the target back to Johnny. I mean, it is, but it's not just that. It's not just that, because it's also Rob saying, I hear you, but I can't trust you, right? And if Maura agrees with Tara and Johnny's logic in this moment, right, and Rob is directly going against their logic, which is what's happening. He is going against what they're saying. Why is she not thinking immediately to herself, okay, now I can't. Now I have to look at Rob a little bit more. Because
Rob has already set in stone what Maura is going to think. He doesn't have to do that. Maura is going to go with Rob regardless, and Rob knew that.
I think
that is the thing.
I think it's the edit. I think the edit wanted us to believe that Maura was 100% onto Eric. But I think those moments where, like, we saw Rob, Eric, and Maura talking on the couch, and she was saying to Eric, I got you 100%. It made us think that she was lying, but I think she genuinely was like, no, I got that 100%. Mm-hmm. And I think the way it was edited made it seem like, oh, she's gonna choose Eric, but the whole time she was probably with Rob. And Rob also said that Tara and Johnny, that one of them could have recruited the other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so close at the end. And I think he has a way with words, and he's also so fucking hot.
Very true.
I do agree there might be some sort of edit, like trickery going on there. But even if he thinks Maura might be joining them to go against Eric, I think it's kind of covering him, because he's like, I'm just going off of, how I feel. I'm just laying it out there. Tara and Johnny, like, love you guys. I just don't trust you in this moment right now. And I think it covers him in that moment. I think he expected Maura was going to vote with him. I think the votes were kind of set in stone. I think the order of events was set in stone before they even went into the final five. I think the final two was already decided at that point. And they were just going to be like, okay, it's going to be Johnny and Tara. And then Mara's like, okay, only if you vote out Eric at final three. And he's like, okay, I'll vote out Eric.
That's the pinky promise.
And I think that was the plan going into final five. I honestly do.
Definitely.
I do too. I think that was the pinky promise. It was like, Rob was like, you trust me and I will trust you. And I'll pinky promise, if you go Johnny, Tara, I will go Eric with you. And Maura was like, cool. I don't think she ever was going to change her mind about that. That's why I thought it was like, even if that moment where she was maybe shaky a little bit, Rob coming in at that end, swooping in and saying, I just don't trust them. And this is made her go, yeah, we did make that promise. Okay. Even if she was swaying a little bit, he instantly brought her back with his words. And like you said, Kara, he has a way with words, and it just worked. I think they just had it planned, but.
And I think consistency, being consistent, was a big thing for this group. And I think he's like, this is where I've been. This is where I've always been. I'm going to vote Johnny at this final five, no matter how the vote turns out. And I think the ammo that people have used to get people out throughout the season is like, you've changed up like what you've been doing. If he doesn't change up how he is, like it gives them less ammunition to bring to him at future votes, because as long as he's like, I've always told you I was going to vote for Johnny, and Johnny is still there at final four, I can't really get mad at him because he basically said that before the vote started.
True. And then the vote happens, and it's literally exactly what we thought was going to happen. It was very predictable. Johnny is voted out. Tara and Johnny vote out Eric, and the rest of them vote out Johnny. Bye, Johnny.
This is what Tara and Johnny get for turning on Natalie last round. It literally is. If they had went to Mark and said, the three of us are voting for Eric, you were already suspicious of Eric, he could be going out the door. And granted, Rob did have the dagger. It would have been a little bit more complicated than that. But quite frankly, they put themselves in this position. It is their own fault. That's just where we're at.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. But then that second round, the dagger doesn't exist, and it would have been.
And it would have been. And Eric would have been out.
Eric would have been out.
Yeah, and then do you really think that Rob wouldn't have just murdered Natalie the next night? and suddenly it's you, Mark, and Johnny, Tara, and Mark against Mora and Rob.
See, that would have been sickening.
It would have been.
All they would have had to do. All they had to
That
do.
really was.
And then they would have won.
That's what they had to do, but they did not. They did not do that, and they did that gross roundtable with Natalie, and I was upset about it because that's
Really?
Natalie's karma. You don't do that
Justice
to Natalie because justice for Natalie. She deserved that.
Justice for the female gamers in general. Tiffany and Natalie got treated
And
like
Ian.
garbage.
We also
this
say justice
season.
for
And
Ian in a completely different way. Like, not in the same way as justice for those two, but also justice for Ian Terry. Bring Ian back next season, please. I mean, this idea of them bringing the first person murdered back every year so they can actually have a shot to play the game a little bit.
Yeah.
So if they do that again, they should bring Ian back. I think they should.
They should. I think he deserves.
I loved Ian on his season.
I love Ian on his season too.
Ian's my favorite Big Brother.
Ian on both seasons, even though he didn't go far on 22. That season we shall not talk about.
He was a jury.
Yeah, he did make it a jury. Even though, he made it a jury. But I don't want to talk
about it. So
about
lucky it was during COVID, because
Right,
otherwise it would have been
I don't
so
like that
miserable
season.
at the time.
that season. Ugh. Okay, but anyway, yeah, bring Ian back. That'd be great. But justice for Natalie and Tiffany, because I don't like Ian. Definitely yes, but Ian didn't get the same treatment because he didn't get to come to the round table. The round tables for Natalie and Tiffany both were very, very ugly, and I hated every second of it. It was
bullied
gross.
on their way out.
It was so gross. I hated every second of it. So I don't like it.
It's been a long time since we talked about the Tiffany roundtable. I'm still pissed about it. I just want to make that clear because it's been like what, a month since that episode happened. Over a month. I'm still angry. Every
time that people talk about it, I'm like, let's not, because it pissed me off. But going into the circle of truth, because Tara tries to talk to Mora once again, and it's like, listen, it's Rob. She just comes out and like, it's Rob, it's Eric. We have to do something about it, and you know it. And Tara's like, I don't want to think about it being Rob. Or Mora, I don't want to think about it being Rob, but I do think it's Eric. And she's like, let's just get rid of Eric then. Let's do this. Let's get rid of Eric. We get rid of Eric. And she's working. Because at this point, what does she have to lose?
Right.
She's already lost Johnny. And she knows if they go in the way they just voted, it's 3 against 1. And so she's like, it has to Mora. Listen to me. It is Rob and it is Eric. Let's vote Eric right now. And Mora's like, yeah, I think so. Possibly so. Maybe, yeah. She's like, I do think it's Eric. I don't think it's you. And she's steady telling Tara, I don't think it's you. I trust you. I don't think it's you. I don't think it's you. But if you don't think it's her, what are we doing? I don't. Yeah. Well, we know what she's doing.
We know why she is doing the things that she is doing. Yes, we're all on the same page. I mean, look, I've been a little harsh on Rob tonight, and I think a lot of that's just because I want to make sure we're talking about every aspect of this, and I think a lot of the things that are positive everybody else has been bringing up. So I will go ahead and take this moment to say this: Rob pulling Mora aside after the roundtable and going, "Hey, we will get out Eric if we vote out Tara first." That was the best thing he did tonight. Because regardless of anything about Tara, right? If Mora thought that Eric was just going to go to the end, right, and she didn't have a chance to get rid of him, she would have probably voted for Eric with Tara. I do believe that 100%. And I don't think she would have voted against Rob under any circumstance, but I do think she would have voted with Tara against Eric, and then we would have seen what happened. I think it would have played out, honestly, pretty similarly.
Yeah.
But on the off chance that Mora's thrown off by, let's say, Rob ending the game or something like that, locking down and saying, hey, I fully trust you. I fully believe you. I still want to go to the end with you. We will get Eric. We just have to get Tara first. That pulled Mora back in. That
absolutely
down. That was the best move I saw on Rob tonight.
Absolutely.
Personally, I think that was incredible.
I hate that there's like pre-existing relationships because I also feel like if Mora didn't know Rob, like she would have been like, I want to go to the end with two girls. Like I want two girls to win. You know what I mean? But it's like because
Mhm.
the relationship was there, it was like there was nothing you could have really done. That's why I was like, ugh, it's a chop. Like sending an email, like we already knew that was gonna happen.
The second Mark was gone, I was like, okay, Rob just won.
Yeah.
Rob just won this game. Like it doesn't really matter how you slice it or how you look at it. Rob just won this game. Now, is he going to take Eric with him or not? That was the only question I had left. Like, how does this play out? But I knew he was going to win this game. And seeing Tara pleading to Mora, basically, like, we have to take out Eric right here. We have to do this. But like you did, Brooke, Rob making the best move that he could have possibly made for his game, pulling Mora and telling her, I will take out Eric with you, but we must take out Tara, so it's me and you to the end. Like this man sat in that kitchen, pulled her into a hug and picked her up, was like, we going to the end together. We're winning. We are winning. And she was like, yes, we're winning together. Pinky promise, we got this thing. So she, of course, was very much locked. She was locked in, and it was nothing Tara could do. And at the Circle of Truth, it was like, even though she was like, it's Eric. And they were like, yeah, but it's you. Bye. She said it's Eric. I know it's Eric. And they were like, yeah, we do too, but it's going to be you right now. So bye.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was wild behavior. I was like, well, the Traitors won. At that point, the Traitors have officially won this game. Now, which Traitors are winning, that was going to be what this next finish was about. And Eric was like, game over, done, because we playing together. That's what we said we were doing, right? And Mora was like, no, red. And Eric was like, oh. And I still think he thought, I could still win because Rob is going to go green and we go all look at her like, why do you feel? And we go both vote her out. And
that would have been like a gag for me. Like I would have been like, okay, I'm living that it's the two Traitors in the end and they got
Mm-hmm.
But
well, that's just what happened on spoiler alert. If you
haven't watched UK,
you haven't watched the most recent season of UK. That's exactly what just happened on the end of UK. Was the two Traitors get to the end with one faithful, the faithful votes stick it to banish again, and then the two Traitors unite and take out the last faithful. But I will say, I think Eric. I'm not gonna gas him up too much, but I think the in the moment you have no time to prep for a pitch here. That he gave to Mora was surprisingly good. Like, why are you still here? Why has no one murdered you, Mora? We're not close, at least not comparatively. You are so much closer to him, right? That little bit of a something there.
That was really good.
Again, I don't think he could have said anything to change her mind.
No.
Right.
But at least it was reasonable and it had good logic. So I will give you that.
I was impressed that he immediately he could have just stayed and been like, okay, we got to get Mora, bro. We got to get Mora, bro. But he'd like pivoted and he's like, my best way to survive is to throw Rob under the bus because that's my best path forward. Which I agree. It was already done. But I mean, if you're going to make a pitch, I think that was the best pitch you could have done was like, I'm voting Rob, Mora, like seriously, I would not have kept you safe if I was a traitor,
Right.
We're not that close.
I think that was the best thing Eric said this whole entire game. Like that was his best pitch ever at any table or anything that he's ever said this entire game. And I was like, oh, that's good. A little too late to come out and be this convincing because she has already got this established relationship with Rob. Rob has been setting the groundwork with Mora since day one. There was no turning her head at this point, even if Eric was 100% right, which he was. But Mora was like, I made a pinky promise. And when Rob said that pinky promise, Mora was like, yep, we sure did. Eric, done. Like, you're done. And it was over. Eric was gone. And I don't mind putting that sword over his face because you didn't deserve to win it anyway. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve to win. You didn't.
Regardless, if like Mora banished Rob, and it was Eric and Mora, and then
I would have been pissed.
Eric was a traitor. she would have felt so bad because she would have been like, oh my God, Rob was a faithful. But then she would have found out the truth. But like, yeah, regardless.
I would have been so mad if Eric won this game by himself or even with Rob. I would have been less upset if he won with Rob, but I would have been really upset if he won it by himself. I'm like, how do you walk in this door, do absolutely nothing in this game, and win? No.
It's
Throw
like
the whole season away.
It's like
Something-
when what's his name, Ari in season
Yes.
one.
Yes.
It's like coming in at the end after Cerie's already done all the heavy lifting, and I'm like, I'm so glad Cerie betrayed him so bad in the
He
end.
needed to go. He needed to go. Because, like, what did you do successfully, Ari? Nothing. Just like Eric. What did you do successfully, Eric? Nothing.
The only thing Ari did successfully was grab a couple shields out of the armory. That's about it. But like, again, I'm not mad at the outcome. Just a little bit predictable, very predictable. Honestly, by the time we like was mentioned earlier, when Lisa went and then Candace went right after Lisa, the writing was already on the wall, and they missed their last chance last week. So at the end of the day, who do we blame for the Faithfuls losing? All of them. Every single, except for Ian and Ron. Ian didn't have a chance to influence anything, and Ron, because these people treated him like crap for 4 weeks.
And they
Every other
nothing
Faithful
he said.
Seriously, the gamers get murdered first, and then the remaining gamers are like their best ammunition against the traitors, and they're like, no, we're gonna banish you. So we want to be taken over. They asked for this. They totally asked for this.
I will say this. Traitors, if you decide to do another celebrity season and you bring back more reality stars, if you ever have a turret and don't have a single gamer in the turret, I will not watch that season. You cannot have a turret with not one single gamer, because this was like, as a fan of all of these gamers who we watched on Survivor and Big Brother and all these shows, we know they would have went in that turret and ate it up. Could you imagine Rob Sesternino in the turret? He would have ate that up. He would have been like, oh my God, y'all don't know what's happening. Ian would have ate circles around some of these people.
God, yeah, I would have loved to see Ian in there.
Tiffany would have Natalie, they would have just ran circles around these people, and it would have been such not that this turret was unenjoyable, because I enjoy seeing the housewives try to do their thing, and then with Rob in the mix, who honestly, I would put him in a gamer category at this point, because
he is a gamer for me.
He is a gamer. He does that. Like, even on Love Island, I called that boy a gamer. Like, he was playing the game. It was just he was kissing people in the process, but he was still playing the game, and he made it all the way to the end with several different connections. This man had 5 different connections. He should have been off that island, but he played the game the entire time. So I would put him in that gamer category. Not that he's a bad person. He just know how to stick around when he shouldn't stick around. And this was just, but don't do that again. Don't ever do that again, Traitors. Don't have a turret with no gamers. Like, you don't have to have a turret full of gamers. Like, that's fine. You don't have to have, but not one, because then when you don't have one in there, they get ate up like this. Like, how is the first 3-4 boots in Rob, Tiffany? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. In what world does that make sense?
I do have to wonder if a little bit of this is the response to season 3.
Oh, it definitely is.
We're coming off season 3, and I mean, I wonder if this is how the Bravo fans felt last season, when all of the housewives are gone by like week 5, and all of the Bravo people are just murdering.
I mean, they had Dolores
out of the castle. Like, the big problem
Not Dolores.
Except Dolores, but literally
Dolores.
all of the Bravo people but Dolores are gone, and they're not showing Dolores at all. So I mean, in reality, were any of the Bravo people still in that house? I don't know. What I can say though is, we didn't have a Bravo person in the turret last season, and this is right after Phaedra was, in my opinion, the third best traitor we've ever had in the cast.
Absolutely.
So when she would have won that game if it wasn't for Dan Giesling. Wake it the hell up.
Wake up. Yeah, because Dan ruined you. You ruined it, Dan.
But this
Dan,
I love
I love
Dan,
you.
but
All
I
right, don't
agree.
piss me
I
off.
agree.
Don't bring that back.
Beside the point. But this is after we had already seen a housewife run that turret and run that game. I think the problem wasn't necessarily that there weren't any gamers in the turret. It was the fact that we had 4 traitors out the box, and 2 of them were the 2 housewives who weren't really playing the strategic game. They're like, oh, well, all of the traders are going to go to the end together and we're all going to split this money. And they were kind of living in a bit of a fantasy land. And I think when Rob is just, already moving pieces around and getting the board to where he wants it before he makes his move, and Donna's just gone, there's nothing else they can really do about it. Also, don't make someone like a Donna Kelsey a traitor ever again. And I don't mean older woman. I mean completely out of the loop in every total way and having no chance of ever being successful in this game based on how they're behaving.
I actually have another idea. For Secret Traitor, put a pin in it. I have an idea of like how they should ramp that up. But sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Also, make Monet a traitor. Make Monet a traitor.
Yeah,
I mean, okay.
I
We'll talk
think
about that.
at least you don't need the most strategically minded gamer in there. Put like a one Carolyn plus like some other like different kinds of traders. I think you still get some like good strategy out of that turret.
I just feel like it. Not that Rob didn't have strategy. Rob had a lot of strategy, and I think he had to kind of play it down a little bit just to make sure that Lisa and Candace were going to be go along with what he was, because he knew, and he said it, and we'll talk about the reunion, but he said it at the reunion that he always felt that those 2 will team up to get him later if necessary, and I would have felt that same way too. You don't put me in a room with 2 people from the same whatever franchise and it's just me. And I don't think that when it comes to push come to shove, and they know that they gotta get. I think Lisa and Candace would have realized we're gonna have to get rid of a traitor at some point. At some point in time, I think they thought it was too soon, but I think they would have realized that they would have had to. The way they talking, they might not, because they were like, we were gonna go to the end
genuinely
together.
wanted to go the end with the 3, and I think I said that on my last time on the panel was I think Lisa and Candace's fault was they equated their relationship with each other the same as they equated their relationship with Rob, and Rob didn't feel the same way, and they didn't try to foster that connection at all. And so Rob is just like, I think there was a miscommunication with the 3 of them of like what they wanted out of the turret. And I think if they just vocalized that more outside of the turret, then I think Rob might have tried harder to maybe save Lisa when Lisa's back was up against the wall. But I don't know.
I mean, I would say it is important to remember, out of every English-speaking Traitors franchise, we have only seen 3 Traitors make it to the end together one time. And that was Australia 2 or Australia 1? One of the Australia seasons. So like when we're looking at, we're 3 seasons deep into Canada, 4 in US, 4 in the UK, plus Celebrity, New Zealand, Australia. Like there's a lot of Traitors seasons now that we have to look at. The fact that it's only happened once, and that was an incredibly weird set of circumstances to even get to that point. I think maybe doing a little bit of research on the game you're going to go play before you go play it might be a good idea. Just give yourself a little bit of an idea. Like, now, to be clear, I'm betting Lisa and Candace, and I'm not going to speak for them here. I'm going to speak for Lisa a little bit. Lisa wanted to go have fun in a castle in Scotland and play this fun game and do whatever. I don't think Lisa Rinna is going to come in this castle and be like, I need to win. Like, if she wins, awesome.
Great.
But she doesn't. I don't think it mattered to her that much.
No. I don't think it was a necessary need for her to win this game. And I don't think it was a need for any of the housewives to really need to win this game. They wanted to win. They had to apply, an experience. And that's why I feel like the celebrity editions of Traitors is a little less like, Because not a lot of people need it. Now, some of them do need it. Like we saw, Tiffany needed it. She said she needed it. She wanted to send her son to college. Rob needed it. I think Rob is doing okay with his brand deals, but I don't know if it's like
His thing.
his thing. Like his season is over. It's been over 2 years since his season is over. So it's like he's still popular, but I don't know if he's hitting those brand deals like he was when he first got out of the villa. And like he wants to build a farm and have kids. And when that man said he wanted to build a farm and have kids and settle down and have a quiet life, I believe that. I believe once he do that, we will not see Rob Roush on nobody's TV screen ever again. I don't think that man wants to be in front of the camera unless he has to be in front of the camera. And when he said, I just want a farm and my children and my woman and a quiet life, I believe that so wholeheartedly. I will drive down to his house because he in Alabama somewhere. I will drive because I know that's what that man wants. He just not. He had opportunity after opportunity to get back on TV several times right after the Villa, and he said no. They wanted him for that Beyond the Villa show, and he was like, "Oh, absolutely not. I don't want to do that." He could have made money and he could have bank if he was just trying to be on TV. He would have did that, but I believe him. So I think that when you see the non-celebrity people, regular schmojos like myself, on this show, it's going to be a different feeling. It's going to be people who want it, who need it, who is willing to do whatever they can and have to do to fight for it because they really need this money. Like this is money that I could change my whole life with. So I think it's going to be a little bit because we see it in the UK. We see them actually. The gameplay is different because these people want and need this money. So I don't know. I'm excited for this next season to happen, but I don't know. But by the way, Maura, she pretty much got banished because she lost because Rob.
Not
Rob
before
wins.
the face crack of the century.
That
It was so cute though. I think
she was so cute. But
she told him, she was like, "I'm a traitor," and then she was like, "Just kidding." And then he was like, "I'm a traitor," and I think she was waiting for that.
she was like,
Joking too, but
just kidding.
didn't happen.
Just kidding. You're gonna say just kidding, right? And she's like,
No.
How was that not scripted? That was insane. I cannot believe that happened.
I was like, oh my god. She was just like, and
Rob reacting like when she said she's a traitor, and he was like, "Oh my god!" I was like,
oh my god,
like
you know better, Rob.
Can I say
he's
though? I do want to say something a little possibly controversial. One, I'm happy Maura was not nearly as hurt as I thought she might have been by it, because we've seen this outcome happen on Traitors before, and it doesn't always end very well. I'm specifically thinking about the ending of US 1 when Sari had to apologize for an entire reunion. By the way, still not over that. But
That was so
I'm
insane.
happy Maura
That's
did
so
not
sad.
react as poorly as I thought she could have. I do think Rob could have been a little bit kinder to Maura in this moment. He was pretty harsh about the whole situation. Like
Oh,
that's just how it read to me, because like when Maura's like feeling like she
Made some
takes about like
jokes.
3 minutes. She takes about 3 minutes to process it. And Rob is like trying to explain to her why he did it, but he's not doing it in like a very like. It came off really robotic. It's just, it felt like, you know how he said he's been playing this game without any emotion. He could have. This is like, you've already won, homie. You can be a human again. It's okay.
Yeah.
he's like that,
But
like even on the
again-
island, like yeah.
what were you saying, Kara?
No, I was just saying like he's like that, like even when
Right.
he's picking up with people, or he was like trying to say like, "I want to choose this girl."
Yes.
He can barely articulate his words, and he's just like, there's like no emotion there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
And
what his name is, but
That's just Rob, though. Like he's not that. I don't, and that's the thing. I don't, and I know you don't know because you never watched him on Love Island, Brooke. So you don't know you don't know anything about him. Rob he's not that. Like he broke up with people, looking them straight in the face, like, yeah, I don't think it's just gonna work between me and you. It's just not it. Okay, thanks. And like walked away. Like, no, I hope you feel better about this. No, I'm so sorry. It's just Rob is just that. He's so deadpanned. So, and I think he felt, and that's the thing, he did feel bad. One thing I will say, we saw more emotion from him in this on Traitors than we did on Love Island. That's telling you something.
Yeah.
That's telling you something. And
You
him
could tell it
telling
was
Maura,
wearing
like,
him
no,
down.
really, I don't, you're not stupid. No, you're not. Like, he was trying to, and I understand she had the process too. That's when she was like, don't talk. And he was like, it's okay. I feel like, because, look, we've been in situations where men try to mansplain their situation and they don't know how to stop talking when she says, no, stop talking. And he's like, no, don't do that. I'm sorry. I'm saying I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm trying to apologize. He could have continued and just been a jerk about it, but he was like, oh, no, okay, I get it. Because I know I'm a dick. I'm an asshole. I'm all of that. I did that and I'm sorry. So we saw more emotion from him on Traitors than we did on Love Island. And that's,
Honestly,
I did look it
that
up
response
because
is how he won.
Yeah.
He could read the situation so well.
Well, it was interesting because you just said, that's how he was on Love Island. I was curious because it's a very autistic coded thing to feel like to behave that way. I looked it up, and he apparently thinks he probably is autistic. And you know what? That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. He fair play. Like, I'm just saying, like,
he showed signs of that, even on Love Island, because Rob, he always was like, I just want to be by myself, and just, he doesn't react well to confrontation. He doesn't like to be in, but in that villa, confrontation just comes, and you have to deal with it because there's nowhere to run. This man hid in the pool under the set. That's how he was trying so hard to get away from things because, so I'm not surprised if he is, a little. I would not be surprised at that at all. But Rob does win. And I just say, I was right the entire time. I love being right. And I was right the entire time. I told y'all, do not sleep on Rob Roush. And all of you did. So therefore, I am the winner of this draft. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I got to pick him last because none of you would pick him. None of you would take him. They were like, I don't know nothing about no Rob. I was like, my knowledge of Love Island is paying off in this moment. In every draft that I did for this, I picked Rob.
I'll own it. I'll barring a phrase from Lisa Rinna, owning it. Like I looked at this draft table and I had the last pick before the last pick, and I took Eric Naum, and you know what? It was a mistake at the end of the day. And you know what, Lana? You get your 10s. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I have not won a draft in a minute, so I'm still happy.
This is the first time I've lost a draft since 2024 on the podcast. It feels weird. I don't like it. I don't want to lose anymore.
I'm so very happy.
Like feast or famine with drafts. I either smash it like UK drag. I was like, no one was beating me.
No.
And then I'm last in every other draft. Like I'm either first or last.
Right? Before I went on the I think I had like a 6 draft winning streak that just has apparently now ended. I hadn't won a draft on this channel in the 3 years I had been on this podcast. So like it takes some time to get into the groove. But
I'm just happy. I'm just happy.
Congratulations.
I'm happy about this draft. Yeah, because look, Rob, I knew it, and only me and Logan was the only people on this podcast who was like, we know Love Island and we know Rob. And I was very happy to get him. But that is on the draft. And I'm not going to feast too long on that because, we're not going to talk about the draft. Quickly, though, I want to get into some reunion points. Because I have thoughts about this reunion. I want to know if you all have thoughts about this reunion. And I'm going to keep mine very brief because, honestly, I only have lashings to give to one man and one man only. And that is Michael Rappaport. Because I don't know who you talking to when you feel like you go shush and clip Portia. I don't know who you think you talking to when you go clip her and talk about some shush to anybody. Who are You shouldn't even been on this cast, let alone thinking you can go on this reunion and clip any woman to
What?
their face. Like, hello?
Flip? Like, I was like, what are you even saying?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
This man pissed, like, everything in this reunion, I was enjoying it. I was watching it. The second he said that, I was over it. I was like, that is the only thing I want to talk about this man. Because you rose big mayonnaise face looking ugly, both bloated man, and who eats like a 2-year-old.
I was gonna say.
How dare you? How dare you clip poor? No, I was so outdone. And what I will say, I did love that when he was talking about clip and done, Ron and Tiffany both was like, hold on, no, wait, hold on, wait.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Because what you not going to do is clip this black woman on TV like that. Absolutely. That pissed me off so much. Pissed me. I was like, everything else about this.
I hated it when he did it to Tara too, because literally that entire bit beforehand was him talking about how he had looked back on some of his behavior and he was trying to be like less aggressive and less disrespectful. And Tara's like trying to support him, honestly. And then he does the same thing to her. I'm like, no, you have not. You have done no reflection. Like, I'm not the type of person that thinks people can't change. I think people can change. I think people have to want to change. And something like a show like this can be the impetus for someone to change. Mm-hmm. But this man clearly hasn't. And I'm very happy that he was immediately washed out of our minds after he got banished. So, toodles.
Yeah, I just had to get that off my chest. Ugh.
I think it's like telling that it was only women and this whole season, women and gay men, that he was willing to kind of like get up in the face and like, because you think you are bigger than them. It's because you think that you sit higher than them. And I'm not saying he's consciously, it's a subconscious thing with him. He's got to do a lot of work because he should never been here. My gosh.
Yeah,
worst casting.
He's a chop. I think the reunion was like cute. Like it was like, I wanted a little bit more drama. I really wanted Candace to go for Rob a little more, but I think they probably already talked about all those things and aired it out maybe before the reunion because it's filmed so late after. Like I think she kind of went on him, but not like enough for me. Like I wanted a little more. And I was expecting Lisa and Colton to have more of a blow up since he unfollowed her and stuff. But I think the way she worded things was probably alluding to him being a stalker, which like
yes, you are.
Real
sorry.
So I don't know why he was casted either. Anyways,
no, he should not have been there.
Do you know the tea about what happened at the reunion that they did?
Oh, it was more that happened. They just cut it a lot out. They cut a lot of that out.
He like walked out. And
he stormed off or something.
Yeah, Colton walked off set, and he said he would only come back if that was not brought up. I was actually going to bring up Colton for my portion of the reunion coverage here because this man talking. And also, quick note: Andy Cohen needs to get replaced. I cannot with this man. Cutting off.
Oh yeah, absolutely nice.
Argument and discussion between anybody and just saying we're going to move on. Right? I understand you're the host and you have to keep it moving, but like that's what an edit is for. If something isn't going to make the coverage, we just don't let it make the edit and we move on, right? Don't cut off these people. This is an edited product. You're not live. You can go with you. You're not on schedules here. So Andy Cohen, no, bad. But Colton, when Andy asked him about the fan reception being extremely negative to Colton being here and Colton's presence on the show and how he reacted to that, Colton out here pretending like he was the victim in that situation to this. Like, I went through a really dark time in my life. Yes, you went through.
You caused the dark time, you
piece of shit.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Because even if I don't like Michael Rappaport and I think his politics are terrible and I think he's a bad human being, right? To my knowledge, the man has never stalked anyone. So, to my knowledge. To my knowledge, I will again say, to my knowledge.
I think he has had some.
I just don't know about it. I'm just saying right now. As of right now, I don't know.
He stalks the housewives. My God.
Stalks the housewives. But the other thing I wanted to bring up is this reunion treated Ron Funches dirty as hell. I think about 85% of this house owes Ron an apology in some capacity, and them not even alluding to what he went through in this house is just miserable. Ron has been very open about how much he did not enjoy his experience, and like if you've been watching his comedy set since he got off the show, he's been very open about it. I don't normally say anything ill, but Monet specifically said some things to Ron. I was like, Monet, no, why?
I mean, okay, here's the thing. And I this is why I have a problem with this edit. Because why would you, I'm sure it was so much more conversation that went on about Ron in this that happened. Why would you clip the one thing of Monet asking him about not being social to everyone, which is facts because Ron said it himself. I was not social to everybody. So what Monet said to Ron was not wrong. It was a question like you acted like you didn't want to be a part of this game. You weren't social with all of us. You didn't talk to everybody. You only stayed with the people you wanted to talk to, and that was it. So how do you expect us to want to be social with you when you don't want to be social with us? And if you're feeling isolated, it's because you isolated yourself. So I don't think it was wrong for Monet to ask, but what I do find wrong is that they only had Monet's question asked when I know it was more questions being asked to Ron because the answer he gave to that question didn't even go with that question. It was just like, it just didn't make any sense. They did a whole lot of chopping and editing screwing up in here, and you could see it. And I didn't like that because you make me look like, oh, Monet is going after Ron. And Monet has never said anything about Ron this entire time, even off the season in her press and anything. We haven't seen her mention Ron like that in a negative light. So for them to do that, to try to make it look like, oh, okay, we're going to put these two black people together and have them going at each other, for what reason? Only because we know Dorinda said something. You know Dorinda said something because she said everything in that round table and in that castle. You know she said something. You know Portia probably said something. You know Donna's and like all of them probably said something, but you clip one of the Monet just simply asking, you didn't want to be social with us. Why should we want to be social with you? And it's just like, out of the whole story of the Ron Funches time in that villa, that's what we want to put out. That's the only thing we put out. When he'd been on the podcast talking about how Dorinda was saying some really ugly things to him in that house and nobody said anything, even the producers had to step in and say something, they were covering their butts. So I was upset with that. It wasn't what Monet said. It was why they decided that would be the clip to show.
Just the edit in general was kind of like choppy.
It was giving very much of, we want you to see what we want you to see. Yeah. And we want to make certain people feel very comfortable, and we don't care about the comfortability of others.
Like, it was very much talking about the show, but there was drama that was personal, and it went outside of the show, and I wish that was like brought into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's reminded me of like every Big Brother season, there's always one person who's outcast and they're kind of like bullied in the house. And they always try to chop the live feeds around any discussion of that person. And I'm just kind of like, just show us what they're saying, please.
We know what there's something you're cutting and there's something you're hiding from us. Just tell us what it is. And so then when everybody come out the house and they're like, well, they said this. And we're like, well, we didn't see that. They cut the live feeds at that. They're like, remember when we were in the have not room and I was talking, we were like, yeah, we saw that scene up until you said, hey, what about this? And then, and we don't know nothing else that happened.
And on top of that, like throwing Monet under the bus when she had almost no impact on the reunion. Like they cut like apparently everything she said. So
only thing I got from Monet in this reunion, I was like, yes, when she was like put me and Bob back in there and was talking about how drag queens should be on shows like this. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Let them be on the show because as I think Tiffany was like, no, Monet, you are a gamer because Drag Race is very much a game and you have to play a game. It's a competition. So you have to do, play. So I was like, that was the only thing that they put in there. But man, I was just like, y'all not doing this right. Y'all letting Michael have so much time unnecessarily. Y'all giving Colton all this time to explain away his deceitful behavior without explaining his part in it. Like, he didn't have to go into detail about what happened between him and that girl. He didn't have to go into detail. He didn't have to say nothing. He could have been like, it was a dark time for me. I made some mistakes and I'm trying to move past it. That would have been so much more acceptable. Like, I wasn't a good person in my life. I hurt people. I've hurt people and people have hurt me. And I would have been like, you know what, Colton? Okay, maybe I think you're ready to start taking some accountability for it. But I don't think he is. And that just still is just like,
yeah. It's kind of what upsets me about the Colton thing is like where he is in his life. It's kind of served up on a platter for him to be like, I have a husband. I have a kid now. I have responsibilities. I've grown. I'm a different person. I'm like, it's right there on a plate, like served to you. And he just, I don't know. Just, I hope him happiness with his husband and his kid and all that stuff and peacefulness. Like, just let him go off into the.
I really hope he does not come back.
This man ever again on any show.
He does not need to be cast anymore.
Don't cast him. We don't need to see him.
But honestly, he needs to take responsibility. Why would you want to come on the show? You know what you did. At some point, we got to be like, let me take myself out this spotlight. This is not for me, because every time he's going to come out there, it's going to come up. I don't care how many times you try to hide it. I don't care how many books you write. I don't care what you do. If you get cast on the show, the North never forgets. And when I say the North, the people. We will never forget. We will never forget.
I guess, though, one thing to consider, though, is the Traitors is usually like casting villains, which, like, not that he deserved to be on TV, but I think they did cast him in that light. Like, most people on the show were the villains of whatever show they were on. But I think sometimes there's a difference between being a villain and being like a horrible human being. And I think, like, I don't know. There's a line.
We were saying this about Tom Sandoval last season.
Yes.
It's like, what he did was horrible, but he cheated on somebody. Like, let's be honest about what it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's horrible. But Ariana, she's fine. She's doing great. She's killing it.
Living her best life.
You know what? It's pretty common, as sad as it is, that people cheat.
People cheat. We've seen that happen several times.
But
we don't see stalking does not happen.
Yeah,
that
Tom Sandoval, even though, and we talked about it when we talked about in the cast assessment this season, right? Tom Sandoval kind of had a bit of a career resurgence out of the Traitors. He did that, then he did America's Got Talent, and now he's on House of Villains. Like, I have to say, if you're gonna go on a redemption tour, he has acknowledged what he did. He hasn't really apologized for it. I think he knows that would ruin his reputation. But, like, quite frankly, I don't care. It's not my relationship. And Ariana's successful and happy and thriving. He seems to be doing pretty well for himself. Mm-hmm. So, like, there are worse people that have been on the Traitors at this point.
Okay.
Right.
It's just accountability. I think, and like I said, if he would have taken just a little bit of accountability and just mentioned, like, yes, I messed up and I wasn't in the best place and I did some things, but I'm trying to move on from this and, move past this. And I wish nothing but the best for everybody involved. Like, even if you don't do it at the reunion, but like even in interviews, he's blocking it. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Nobody talk about this. If you talk about it, I'm leaving. So it's kind of like,
what's the point? Like,
what's the
don't be in
point?
front of the camera.
Why are you on my TV?
Why are you on my TV if you're not going to talk about what we are all talking about? I think Colton could have a Sandoval type of redemption arc if he took accountability. I think Sandoval did that. That's why he did all these other things. And now he's on House of Villains, which I am watching. We are watching. You can go and check out that video. It is up right now. He's doing fine, and nobody really cares about the Sandoval scandal. You hear it, he'll come up, Sandoval scandal. We know why you're here in House of Villains, but then it's like, okay, next, we move on. But Colton just never takes any accountability, and it's it's as my UK brothers and sisters on Love Island say, it's boring. It's boring. I'm over him, and I don't need to see him on my screen anymore.
Mhm.
But other than that, the fluffiness of this reunion, I just needed that to go. Like all these highlights of the Love Highlands and the awards and
I was gonna say they're editing this like it's a Housewives reunion. That needs to stop. That needs to stop. This is not Housewives. I love it on Housewives. It works for Housewives in that format, but this is a reality competition show. Like it is different, and so we have different questions to answer here.
Yeah, I just didn't like that. I was like, I'm bored of this. I'm so ready for this to end. Like, let this go. And I don't know. I just didn't. The reunion was okay. Now the reunion was meh for me. That was the meh part for me. I was like, I thought we were gonna get more fireworks with all the press that everybody was talking about. Oh, it's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be juicy. But
I want the unedited version.
Right, bring me the unedited. Like I don't care if it's 4 hours long. I'll watch all 4 hours. I just want to see it.
Yeah.
At this point, I just want the All-Star 7 reunion. That's just what I want. Like this can go. This reunion was boring. I wouldn't even call it meh. I was watching, hoping something in this reunion would grab me. And by the time I was done, I was like, well, that's an hour of my life I'm not going to get back.
Yeah, no, it's a shock.
Even the stuff that they said that was going to be juicy, like Candace talking about Rob. I know you told Colton he was a traitor or I was a traitor. And I'm like, ooh, what's the juice? What's the tea? And then the tea is, no, he didn't say that.
Like
I'm
it was a misunderstanding.
I was like, what? Oh God, please! This was worse than the Love Island reunion, and I hated that reunion too.
But Maura's getting a Birkin.
But Maura is getting a Birkin. Apparently, Rob is buying her a Birkin. He feels bad, and I'm like, good on you, Rob. $10,000 ain't gonna hurt you that bad. Go on and get her a Birkin, even though that's the minimum apparently for a Birkin. I'm like, ooh, I could never afford a Birkin apparently, so that's fine. that's fine. $10,000 for a small bag. Baby. But yeah, so Maura's getting a Birkin. She got an award. Everybody's telling her she's not dumb. I love that for her. And she looked great. I loved her. She gave us another hat, and I was like,
top 2 of the week for sure.
Yes. The reunion looks, by the way, I was like, some of them ate, some of them fine. I will say for me, Tiffany, stunning. Tiffany looked amazing. I wish we saw more of Tiffany in this reunion. I wanted to hear her speak more. I wanted to see her more, but she looked amazing. Maura looked amazing. Candace and Lisa, they all look fine. They all look great. They look great. But not the yawn.
No, I was gonna say, Brooke, you were so shady with her.
Don't care.
Unrelated. It was an actual yawn, unrelated. But you know,
that just sums up how you feel about this reunion. I got it. I got you.
Pun not intended, but not inaccurate. Let me put it that way. I do one thing I wanted to touch on before. I'm not trying to wrap this up. Before we wrap up,
I'm wrapping it up. So
the rumor mill going around right now is that after this civilian season, that's supposed to be airing in the fall, by the way, so we're going to get a second Traitors season this year. Is that it may be time for an All Stars edition in the castle? Is the big rumor? Is what we're going around. I've seen a couple people joke and say it's going to be Oops All Traitors. I think that's a terrible idea, but I would kind of love to see it. But no, like imagine it's like Suri with Parvati in the same castle. Like I want that.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, they would get in trouble, but yeah.
I don't care. I love them both. But yeah. But is there, besides Rob, because I mean, I think clearly we'd all be in agreement on that one. Who is like the number one person from this cast you'd like to see come back? And also maybe besides Ian, because we did mention we'd like to see Ian come back as well.
This cast.
I think Tiffany and Natalie deserve another shot at it.
You know who I want? Kristen. I think I want Kristen to come back because I feel like she had some good moments. I just feel like it was just a little too late for her, and she was just faithful. Everybody knew it. She was going to go.
I'll say Mark, too. I liked Mark.
I want to say Monet just because that's my girl.
Of course, Monet.
Yeah.
I feel like
Monet and Bob.
Monet and Bob.
Love. But I
Look.
actually would love to see Maura come back and kind of have a little redemption. I feel like she did, like,
Could you imagine if Maura comes back and Rob comes back? She's like, I will never work with you. Like, she's never, like, don't talk to me, Rob. No, I don't believe anything you say, Rob. Like, nothing. I don't believe a thing you said. I don't.
And then by the end of the first episode, she's already voted with him at the round table, and they're like already back on the same page.
I would love to see Monet and Bob on the show. And look, bring back Peppermint. Justice for Peppermint too. Like, she didn't get her time to do anything
I would love
either.
to, but I think she I don't know. I get the feeling she's so burned by the whole situation.
I wouldn't blame her because they did it so dirty. Trishelle
it was
can
terrible.
go choke.
What they did to her was
Trishelle for life.
Trishelle can go choke for the rest of her life for what she did to Peppermint.
Like, love you, CT. Love CT.
Love you, CT. Trishelle, go
choke.
Eat dirt.
Yeah, I can't get behind her win because of that. It put a bad taste in my mouth for the entire season.
I would love for Caroline to come back because I don't think we really got to see a ton of her on this season. And what I did see of her, I enjoyed. I think out of the housewives that weren't in the turret, she was by far the most attuned to the game. Because it ain't gonna be Dorinda. We
don't need Dorinda. We don't need her back. I didn't need her back this season. We're gonna be honest. I did not need her back this season.
I liked Portia, but I don't know how well she would do on a return. I think Caroline could be a really good traitor. I think, and it would be fun to see her come back.
I think from like exit press, she was very close with all the gamers. Like the way that she thought. I mean, she's a businesswoman, so like that's how she thinks. She thinks strategically. She thinks like cutthroat. So I think she's naturally like she was close with like Rob C and Tiffany and all them. So. I would love to see her like team up with like she's one of my favorite housewives. Dubai needs to come back.
Oh man, if you gonna bring her in,
you go.
I mean, if you bring her back and you bring the one from Dubai from last season back,
Ayan.
Bring Ayan back too. She's just a hoot and a holler and a laugh.
Hilarious.
I loved her. And even though she was trying to go in on Bob, and I was like, don't do that. That's not necessary. But I thought she was
it could be anybody. It could have been anybody. And
at that moment, she was going off on anybody. She was just like, was I funny? Everybody knows I was funny. But that lives rent free in my head. Like, don't you think I'm funny? Who here does not think I'm funny? Like, what?
I can't remember who she was with, but I remember when she got murdered, she was with a gamer adjacent person, and they were trying to like explain to her the circumstances as to why she had been murdered, like whoever she had been banished with. It was one of my favorite postseason moments from her season. So bring her back. It'd be fun.
Bring her back too. I don't know. I can't wait to see what they do with All Stars. I'm interested to see who would want to come back. And then and if they do All Stars and we do season 1, are we bringing back people who weren't reality stars? Are they now considered reality stars? Do we bring them back too? Or do we just not? And it's like Suri or please don't bring back Cody. I don't need Cody at all.
Oh, you mean the second worst traitor we've ever had in the turret?
Yeah, we don't need him to ever come back, ever. No
I
Cody
think if
ever.
they bring back any of the civilians from season 1, it'll be like Christian or Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Quentin and Andy.
Christian was better than Cody.
Maybe Quentin.
Christian was a mess.
Christian was a mess, but he was entertaining.
He was better than Cody.
He was better than Cody, and I will say that. I was like, that's sad. That was very sad to see. But I don't know. I'm about to say something I know Brook is dying to say. Maybe we'll do a fan cast for All Stars of the Traitors, because I know Brook loves a fan cast. Maybe.
My favorite thing we film on the podcast. I'll be 100%.
Maybe we'll do a fan cast about it, but we're gonna wrap this up because honestly, it could have been an email, and we talked longer than we probably should have talked about this.
We had a lot of thoughts on the email.
We had a lot of thoughts on stuff, and I don't mind that. But Kara, thank you so much for joining us. It was so great to have you here and be a part of our finale reunion recap.
Thank you for having me. I need to get these emotions out and let it out. My friends don't really understand the reality TV, like, so it's like it's good to have this.
This is why we do it, because I know for me in my life, nobody talks about this. I don't have anybody to talk to about this, so I get to come on here and just
Like, all in
speak
my
it.
Yeah.
Yes. So anytime you want to just speak out about some things that's going on reality TV, hit us up, let us know, and you are always welcome. You know this for
Well, if you
sure.
think I do think is just kidding.
Absolutely. And y'all go follow Kara, go follow her, show her all the love. Her Instagram and link will be in the description below. Look, tip her, do all the things, show us some love, baby, because that's what we do here. We show love. And of course, Brook and Mike, I love y'all too. So, y'all can show them some love too. Follow them, follow us, follow me, follow the Cup at the Cup Pod on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Twitter. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. We are trying to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year, so please follow. So join our follow our audio podcast links. Join our Patreon. Don't forget to get your cup mug at LanaGsCreations.etsy.com. Hit that QR code, and we're gonna get out of here because we got stuff to do. So
I got a show.
she got a show. We gotta go.
Yes.
So see y'all next time. Bye.
Cheers.